CN News.
Thank you very much, Vivian Wandera, for that story. We understand for maize to grow, we need water. Now, as the country continues to battle the surging drought, focus is now shifting towards boosting water security. We're now joined by Dominic Kiprono, Northern Collector Tunnel Engineer, as we review the water situation in the country. To start us off, Dominic, what is the status of the Northern Collector Tunnel that is meant to ease water stress in Nairobi and its environs?
Thank you so much, Noah. The Northern Collector Tunnel project, which is a major project, it's one of its kind project that we are implementing in Kenya. It's the longest water transfer tunnel that we currently have in the country. It started way off in 2012 when we conceptualized it and put it in our master plan. And the project commenced in February 2015. We have so far undertaken the tunneling work and completed. We have also done 3 water intakes structures and completed at Irati, Kikike and Maragua rivers. What is outstanding is only the electromechanical works, which we anticipate to complete them by early next year, first quarter of 2022.
All right, so what I'm getting is the project is being implemented in phases. The first phase is the 12-kilometer tunnel that you say, only electrification is completed. What are the other phases and where are we on those phases?
Yes, we have the Northern Collector Tunnel system. It consists of 3 components. We have the tunnel itself, which we have substantially completed it, except now the issue of the electromechanical works, which we are currently undertaking. We also have the raw and treated water pipelines, which is total of 55 kilometers from Ndakaini Dam to Kigoro and all the way to Gigiri. We also have the Kigoro wastewater treatment plant, which is over capacity 140,000 cubic per day. Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 components of the project. Over and above that, we also have now the last mile pipeline projects, which we have one project which is starting from Kiambu to Embakasi. That project, that part is already completed. We also have Kabete, Udhiru and Karen pipeline. It's already completed. And we are in the race to completing and operationalizing the entire Northern Collector Tunnel system.
On matters capacity, this particular project, you understand Nairobi has its fair share of water shortage. This particular project, how much was it supposed to bring and close the deficit of water that you experience in Nairobi and its environments?
Okay. Currently, the total amount of water which we're able to produce and supply to Nairobi is about 450,000 cubic per day, against a water demand of 750,000. So it means we have a net deficit of 300,000 cubic per day, which is required in Nairobi. This project anticipates to close that gap by supplying an additional 140,000 cubic per day to Nairobi and ease the water shortage in the city.
All right, so that is 140,000 cubic meters a day, of which we have a deficit of 300,000. I mean, already from that, we have 160 that is yet to be unfulfilled. Maybe let's delve into the deeper problem. Is it just a population problem in Nairobi? Is consumption or this deficit that you're experiencing just courtesy of population, or what exactly is happening? Why do we have this deficit?
Okay, it's a multiplicity of issues. One is the increase in population in the city. In the year 90s, the water supply, access to water supply within Nairobi city was in the range of 90%. But with the increase in population, the access has gone down. Secondly, we also have the issues of the non-revenue water, that is unaccounted for water within the city. We have the infrastructure which are old, and we tend to have a lot of water losses within our system.
That is quite unfortunate. You know, the bigger water ecosystem, first of all, when you speak to, you know, a normal African, all of us, yeah, water was not one of those things we think, unless you're living in major cities, you think of water, it's correlated with buying. But in most parts, if you grew up in the village, you know, you just go down to the river, get water. That was it. In terms of investment in water and also the role of private sector in ensuring that, you know, we have proper water systems and affordable water, where do you think as a country we are in these particular issues?
Well, I think we always consider water as a social good, and there has been low willingness even of the consumers to pay for water services. However, there is need to sensitize the population that we need to pay for our water which we take so that we can have sustainable water supply within the city. That is the shortfall. Secondly, the Ministry of Water and Sanitation and Irrigation has been of late heavily investing in water infrastructure. You just ran a story about the French funding. We have huge financing which is coming now towards the water sector to bridge the gap in terms of the water demand requirements for the city.
Yeah, and in fact, part of this particular project is that you know, the water treatment infrastructure, so to put it, is very critical. And this is also one of the reasons why we're experiencing shortage in Nairobi, apparently. Like you look at the numbers, the processed water that has gone through the water treatment per day, it's close to 526, yeah? That is 1,000 cubic meters a day. That is water that has gone through treatment and is supplied for consumption. And this is against the demand of 900,000 cubic meters. I mean, investment into water treatment, how critical is that when it comes to the water ecosystem?
Investment is so critical, and but as much as we're investing in this water infrastructure, we need to look at sustainable use of water. And sustainable means we also need to invest in conserving our ecosystem. We need to invest in water resource management so that we can have sustainable abstraction or sustainable use of water within our ecosystem.
Definitely, that's very important. Now, I'm looking initially, I think this was earlier on politicized in a way, you know, in some level, the impact, the environmental impact of such massive projects. And we know the social impact, especially for the people in Nairobi and its environs, it's very critical for people to get water. How do we balance between proper investment and also environmental conservation that should be critical as we finish up?
There is one of the important things that we need to appreciate is during this COVID season, COVID has taught us that water is such an important element in even fighting the virus. But as much as we talk about water that is important for COVID, fighting against COVID, there is also that aspect of ensuring environmental sustainability. This project, the Northern Collector Tunnel project, was branded at some point as a tunnel of death, but it has turned out to be a tunnel of life. We've had people not losing jobs during this COVID season. The social impact of this project has been big. We have had people continuously engaged, over 600 persons per day working within the project. That is a huge social impact. We have also invested in environmental conservation within the Northern Collector Tunnel catchment, just to ensure that this project is sustainable and is able to meet the current and future demand of water supply to the city.
Definitely. And as we close up, you know, there is the element you touched on, infrastructure being very critical. And the water infrastructure, actually, there is an element of waste. And also, even in the personal space, in the confines of our own homes, in our workspaces, I mean, are we very conscious on the issue of not wasting water? And is there something that can be done to boost that awareness?
Yeah, there is need to do a lot of sensitization. And currently, we are also investing in water reuse and recycling to minimize on wastages. If we do that, if we do the recycling process of water, then we are likely to cut the water demand by close to 40%, just by ensuring there is minimized wastages and adequate storage, as well as utilizing water storage.
I mean, how do you, what are some of the ways that you minimize wastages?
Well, there are simple ways, like if you in your house, there are water-saving tips which you can adapt. If you take a shower using, you run a shower and use a bucket, then of course, you minimize the amount of water that you are using for the same particular purpose. So there are plenty of water-saving tips which can be adapted, and it can ensure that we have adequate, sustainable use of water.
Definitely. Mr. Dominic Kiprano, thank you very much. It's high time that people get buckets. You know, be conscious in your own space. How do you brush your teeth? Is it running water? Okay, can you get a cup that you could be using for that specific purpose? Maybe it might save you some water at the end of the day. But such projects are meant to make sure that, you know,